Hello friends, this is Holmes, a first-time farmer over 50. Welcome to the homestead. That's Larry that you hear in the background, telling you all hello. But where we are today, we are in the southeast corner. There's Larry again. We are in the southeast corner of the Northwest Pasture. And today we finished up the Northwest Pasture. And I'm taking a video so that you can see how it looks. And it looks pretty amazing. So we're going to start here on the eastern side and walk west, and we're going to stop occasionally so we can look back and see where we've come from and look up toward the road and get a full view of what's been happening. Now right up here we're going to come to a wash, and I kind of have to take a circuitous route because I have a log bridge built so that I can get across without falling in. As long as the bridge holds up, we're in good shape. If it doesn't hold up and I end up down in the wash, well, you'll be the first to know. Give me just a second here. So here's what the wash looks like. It's about 3 feet deep, and I have filled it in with all kinds of brush from all the things I've been clearing over the last few years. And this is our one log bridge right here, so hang on tight. Could be interesting. Oh no, we made it. No problem. There we go. Larry's excited for us. Alright, so this is how it's looking. Get back up here. This is technically the bottom of the Northwest Pasture, south side of it. And that's looking back over to the corner where we started. Looking up toward the road, you can see the trucks going by. Alright, we're going to start walking. So there's a lot of Japanese knotweed growing in here, which is not the preferred stuff to have growing, but compared to what used to grow, which was nothing, I will take it. Yeah, this was all just soil covered with leaves. There was practically nothing growing at all. So we have made huge, huge strides. Orange flag, that indicates the south end of the pasture. That was my line that I worked across. But we're gonna kind of pan around and you can see other parts of the farm, other areas that I've worked on. This was called the Valley Project. I did that in the fall of 2024. And then over there is a 1.6 acre project. Did that in the summer to fall of 2024. And then way over there, which you probably can't see very well, that's the 5 acre project, 6 acre project, excuse me, 6 acre project that I worked on in 2025. So that's what we've been doing. Doing lots of stuff. All right, you're going to see lots of piles of brush as we walk across. So I started out 2 years ago. The honeysuckle was full grown, and I cut the honeysuckle down at that time and some trees and put them in piles, and then I kind of let those settle down for a couple of years, and then we just started back on the beginning of April, really thinning the trees. Honeysuckle had started to come back, but hit it all with a weed whip and took care of it again. And we're starting to get the grass growing. So this is all growth since end of April, basically. And we're still trying to get grass to grow in some areas. You can see it's still, this is the way it all used to look, where you just had soil covered with leaves. And we'll get there eventually. Take some time. Now this little ridge right here, this looks pretty phenomenal. There's a lot of green stuff up through here that was not there just a few months ago. So I'm very pleased with how this is progressing. And we're getting into the area where there's a lot of cedar. You're going to see a whole bunch of cedar logs. Kind of has that Mount St. Helens motif post-explosion. But we'll get those cleaned up eventually too. Looking back, looking pretty cool. You can see there's a lot of green stuff growing in this area in particular. And we're going to take a look to the south. This is a 1/4 acre project that I did late fall, early winter of 2024. And that was, while it didn't have as much honeysuckle, actually very little honeysuckle, it was still very much overgrown, but you can just see all the grasses that have come back in since then. That's really looking awesome, and I suspect that the Northwest pasture here will look pretty much the same, if not next summer, 2027, but definitely in the summer of 2028. And all these cedar logs, I've left them there. They'll get stacked up eventually and be used for future projects, just things that I'll have to come up with. In worst case scenario, they can always be turned into firewood, although cedar doesn't make the best firewood, but come Christmas time, it sure smells really good. So that just might be a use for it as well. Now this area, we're really getting into the thick, where the cedar trees were really thick, and they were quite large. And the piles here are bigger and closer together, just because I needed places to put them. And also I left a few additional cedars standing just because I didn't have any place to drop them or places to put the branches. So we just kind of let things go as they are, and we can always come back later. It's one of the great things about farming, is that you're never really finished. There's always something more that can be done. And we are happy to continue to do the work. Now we're getting close to the end. This is where the fence line will run, the perimeter fence. These orange flags that you see here going up the hill, that's the property line. So that's where everything stops. So we are in the southwest corner here of the Northwest pasture, looking east, northeast, and to the north. And we are creating silvopasture. We certainly appreciate you watching. Please hit like and subscribe and ring that bell. And we look forward to seeing you again in the future. But if not, we will see you in the pasture.